The mighty Roman Empire, once ruling vast lands, stood at the peak of its power. Yet from beyond its borders, threats began. Germanic tribes, whom the Romans called barbarians, slowly pushed closer and closer to the empire's frontier. This struggle was no longer limited to border skirmishes. In 410 AD, the Visigoths surrounded and sacked Rome, the first time the city had fallen in nearly 8. Then, in 455 AD, the Vandals invaded and looted the city again, further shaking the foundations of the. Finally, in 476 AD, a Germanic leader named Odoacer deposed the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in European history. Centuries before the fall of Rome, the empire faced increasing pressure from Germanic tribes beyond its borders. Tribes such as the Goths, Vandals, and Franks were labeled barbarians by the Romans because of their different customs and tribal lifestyles. By the 300s AD, these groups began to push further into Roman territory. Rome had a long history of conflict with these tribes, sometimes fighting, sometimes negotiating peace. However, the growing strength and unity of the Germanic peoples soon became a serious threat. One notable group, the Visigoths, were pushed westward by the advancing Huns and sought refuge within Roman lands. But tensions quickly escalated into violent clashes that would shake the foundations of the empire. In 410 AD, the Visigoth king Alaric led his forces to sack the city of Rome. It was the first time in nearly 800 years that Rome itself had fallen to an enemy army. This event shocked the ancient world. Rome had long been seen as an invincible symbol of civilization and power. Its fall marked a turning point, both psychologically and strategically. King Alaric's motives were complex. He had once served as a commander in the Roman army and sought recognition and land for his people. When negotiations failed, he took the drastic step of capturing the Eternal City. The sack was relatively restrained compared to later invasions, but sent a clear message. Rome was vulnerable. 50 years later, in 455 AD, the Vandals, a powerful Germanic tribe, invaded and sacked Rome once again. This raid was more devastating and thorough. Led by King Genseric, the Vandals entered Rome with little resistance and looted the city for 2 full weeks. Churches, homes, and public buildings were stripped of valuable. The term vandalism later came to mean deliberate destruction, inspired by the actions of the Vandals. However, some historians argue that the damage was exaggerated in later accounts. Regardless, this sack further weakened the Western Roman Empire, undermining its remaining power and prestige. The final blow came in 476 AD, when the Germanic chieftain Odoacer deposed the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus. Romulus was a young and largely powerless ruler, a puppet controlled by military leaders. Odoacer's revolt was both a political and military act, signaling the end of an era. After his deposition, no emperor would ever again rule from Italy, marking the official fall of the Western Roman Empire. This event did not immediately plunge the region into chaos. Many Roman institutions continued under new rulers, but it marked a profound shift in European history. The fall of Rome paved the way for the Middle Ages, reshaping the political and cultural landscape for centuries to come.